Everybody. We are getting ready for our watch party. We are currently streaming our um, streaming a watch party page that Veral put together here. Thanks for doing that, Veral. We're also bringing on a bunch of folks, so stay tuned. We're gonna get ourselves organized and start bringing some folks online. Folks who are streaming this coming from the Celo Signal calendar will see a link to the streamable to join. If you're a validator, please come join. If you are a CLabs engineer or Celo Foundation, you're also welcome to join. The whole community is welcome, but some folks will be looking and watching this from YouTube. So see you folks in a couple minutes. All right. Hey, everybody. Eric here, joined with Monica, Mariano, Viral. Oh, and we have some validators. Hi, Wade. And we have Paul as well. So thanks, everybody. We are looking good in terms of time. We got about 190 blocks left. But I wanted to invite the Eng team to talk a little bit about Hardfork 1.7.0. And just kind of talk through some of the things that are coming. And then, if we run out of time, we can pause a bit and then, have the hard fork go and then open up to some Q&A if possible. So I know we've got Monica and Mariano here. Monica, would you be up to kind of share what's coming?
Yeah, happy to talk a little bit about that. Mariano, do we want to see if we can pull peers or not in, or should I just get started?
They're coming probably, but get started and we can, they're probably the ones who better have more context, but yeah, or I can do it.
Sure, go ahead.
So, hi everybody. So what's coming? I guess 1.7 is actually it's not totally like full hard fork in the way that it's not required for full nodes to change, only for validators. The need for the chain and what it's changing, we've improved the consensus mechanism, so that we can improve the whole bandwidth that we use for consensus messages. I don't know if you remember, we have some issues in the past with the size of them, and so it's kind of a whole revamp of the whole networking of consensus to do that. I think that's the most important change out there. There's another change, which is about Ether.js compatibility, or I guess Ethereum clients compatibility in general. For those, I guess, who are familiar, you might know that our block structure, even if it's very, very, very close to what Ethereum uses, it has some differences. And so, for example, there are two things that they're not there on the block. One is the gas limit, and the base fee that we're using for gas. Those are not really part of of our block, because they're obtained and computed in a different way. They're computed in via smart contracts, and that has been kind of since mainnet actually. And those were actually breaking compatibility with Web3 clients. And so what we changed, we are not really changing the block structure, we are changing the ERPC to include or pre-compute those two fields. And thanks to that, now you are able to use vanilla Ether.js or Web3 without any issues. I think those two are the most biggest changes out there. Eric.
Yeah, I'm excited about the Ether.js fix. What changes do we need to do, and are there any other compatibility things you think Celo could also include, or was this a big one?
So I think there's a few things that we've been thinking of. So, for example, Celo doesn't have the notion of uncles. And so there are some fields on the header that we actually don't have that are present on Ethereum. So we should, again, the choice is either to leave them and have some dumb information, or to include them on the RPC. In the moment we can strip them, and that might cause some kind of incompatibility. The other thing, it's different. It's more on the block body. The block body has some part that is about randomness, and our randomness is beacon. And it's there basically because we don't want to distribute on everything on the header. And the second part, which it's part of the block body, is that transactions when using the Celo transaction, standard transaction, it has 3 actual fields that are different. So you are able to define what's the fee currency that you want to use to pay for gas. There's a gateway fee, and there's a gateway fee recipient. I think we can strip after like the recent hard fork on Ethereum. There's this idea of having custom transactions, and so now you can do that customly. The thing is that we would need to, and if we remove that, then we will have like total compatibility.
Awesome.
Most of the changes actually we purposely added to a standard field, which is like the header.extra. And so we can encode most of the fields there with the intentions of like making things backward compatible. By the way, I see like we have Hernan here, so he can also maybe explain a little more about consensus if we have time, the consensus changes.
Yeah, I'd love to welcome Merrick and Hernan. Thanks for joining, and Javier as well. Merrick, I see your suit. I'd love for you to speak a bit and then pass to Hernan to talk about some of the changes.
Sure. Yeah. I woke up this morning and felt, this is a day to celebrate. This is a day that I should whip out the refi suit. Super excited for today. It's cool to see we're only 118 blocks away. This isn't one of the biggest hard forks that in Celo's history, but nonetheless, it's a very important one. As Mariano mentioned, it unlocks significant scalability and transaction throughput kind of gains for us, and it increases compatibility with Ethereum. And so, I think it's exciting. Some people are saying, "Oh, it's a funny week to be doing a hard fork." As folks here know, these things are decided on, by picking a block height, months in advance, and so a total coincidence, but nonetheless, super exciting day for us today. With that, I'll hand it over to Hernan to share more about some of the nitty-gritty consensus changes.
Yeah. Okay. So for context, the issue that spawned the consensus changes was the stall that we have in July, I think it was, and we realized then that our previous implementation of Istanbul had an issue in a specific scenario where if we reach partial consensus and then there's a couple of round changes, then the message size would explode past the limit of what the Geth implementation currently holds. And without major changes, that was not possible to go around. So eventually, this hard fork, what we implemented is a change in our consensus where we achieve the same security guarantees of practical Byzantine fault tolerance, but ensuring that the round change messages don't explode in size. So the next proposal phase doesn't hold as much information as before, while securing the same security and data availability guarantees that we had before. But unfortunately, that is backwards incompatible. So the best way we figured out to go about with this was a hard fork for validators. And this is exactly what we're waiting for now. The output of this, if everything works all right, is that we will have a lot of spare room in the maximum size of a message that will allow us to, for example, raise the gas limit again. So that's basically one of the main motivators for this.
Awesome. So can we talk a little bit more about what 1.7.0 sets us up for? I know there's a lot of other engineering work and a bunch of planning that's coming soon or being announced soon. But are any hints you folks can share about what this change allows or will allow? I mean, we don't got much time, but I would love to hear anything you can share.
I guess 1.0 it's mostly those two big changes. The rest of what we're doing on like designing Celo 2.0, it's not really related to that. Not sure what you were asking, Eric.
Oh yeah, I'm just curious, like, with the message size being smaller, and some of the work around potentially like larger numbers of transactions, like, are we in a good spot? Like, is this like a work towards something in that direction? Or if I'm way off, I'd love to hear kind of where you think things can go from here.
Yeah. So as Amran said, like, we would be able to increase the block size limit again once this hard fork has passed, which again will allow us to have more transactions per second. And so that's kind of something that we still have on our queue to do. I guess more of like do the whole testing around like, okay, that, and like considering not only transactions in terms of, I guess when you try to test for these things, you need to model two things. One is like how much like the hardware requirements, the machines with the hardware requirements that you define are able to withstand in terms of execution. No, like, but it's also about like size. No, so when you have a bigger block size, you also need to think in terms of bytes and how big can a block be, how big can this message be. I think this particular chain is helping us a lot in terms of like how big the block size can be. And so we expect that now we will be able to increase block size again, thanks to that.
Thanks.
Yeah, one way to think about this is, there's two parallel work streams right now in the focused on consensus and scalability. One parallel path is continuing to scale the current protocol, which was designed 2.5 years ago, and is very I would say efficient and scalable, and does allow us to get to some good transaction throughput numbers. And this hard fork, as well as other ongoing work, is helping us kind of unlock that throughput. But at the same time, we've started investing heavily in kind of the next massive upgrade for Celo, which we call Celo 2.0. And that work will bring the latest and greatest in, I would say, cutting edge consensus research and scalability research to Celo. And that's, as Mariano mentioned, a kind of a parallel path to the work stream that is scaling the current consensus protocol. And so you can think of this hard fork, at least the consensus changes, as being more focused on the former, and then again, it's good to get excited about what's coming down the pipe for Celo 2.0, because it's going to be big, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are excited, and like you said, like, not a big hard fork today, but a lot of hard work has gone into this, and I know that a lot of folks have been working on this. I'd love to maybe get a heads up on like the eng team that's kind of worked on these pieces. It also is related to a lot of the work in the past where there were some issues that came up, and hopefully these changes allows us to, like you said before, Mariano, kind of like scale the storage size more efficiently. But yeah, who on the team kind of helped out here? I know we've got folks like Flan and others. Maybe we can give a quick shout out to the team.
Yeah, sure. I guess so. Here I see. Well, we have Hernan from the blockchain team. I guess Paul, you were not yet here, but he's already part of the blockchain team already. So great addition. And Javi also here. And we have Piers that has been working on the Ether.js changes, and Ponty. And then like Monica and I guess, helping out wherever we can.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great to hear their names and again, acknowledge their work. And then also we have some validators, I think, on the call. And I know that they also have to work hard to update and make sure things are ready to go be ahead of time. And do we have someone from a validator community in here? I may have seen someone. But yeah, taking a look at stats.celo, it looks like majority of the validators are with only a couple remaining are on 1.7. So excited to see that majority of the folks and the hard work kind of happened prior to today's watch party, and now we just gotta wait, I guess. 10 blocks to go.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a big thank you to all of our validators who were so quick to upgrade and bearing with all of our messages for this hard fork. I know it was short notice, but we're super appreciative of everyone's hard work.
I think we've just lost the screen share.
Oh, that's me. I'll put it back on.
3 blocks away.
3 blocks away. Come on, Eric, bring it up.
Yeah.
1 block.
It's here. 1 block.
Just in time. And
Hey!
Mark. Woo!
Right on. Viral, wow, when you said you had confetti, I didn't know you meant that much confetti. This Costco-sized confetti. Great job. Well, yeah, can we do some work to confirm here? It looks like.
Yeah, we're creating blocks.
Good.
Looks like 90. It looks like 107 validators have moved on the hard fork, and 3 have. And so I'm sure those 3 are going to get alerted very shortly of their new downtime, and will be upgrading, I'm guessing, pretty soon.
Awesome. Well, congrats, everybody. And Monica, any final thoughts, or Marek, any final thoughts now that we've gotten to 1.7?
No, it's just it's second hard fork of the year. It's a big I would say milestone for us. So as Monica mentioned, just big congrats to everyone involved, all the developers who worked so hard on this, all of the validators who worked so hard to test this and then to help roll it out for today. And the whole community watching. I think we have a lot of really great, exciting upgrades up ahead. Bear markets are for building, and so stay tuned. It's an exciting time.
Great stuff. Yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna start messaging some validators. I think there's like someone said three of them. But other than that, just want to give a big shout out again to the validator community. Thanks everybody for updating and upgrading, and thanks to the C-Labs Eng team for all the hard work that's gone into this. I'm excited to see how the new features for app devs can now be utilized on mainnet. So thanks all, and keep an eye out for Celo 2.0.
Woo!
Thanks, everyone.